but at the same time, when I started my on-call job, I fell down. So I came that February, it happened, falling down. So it's just, I think, not even a 6 months time. So I got the job in December and like kind of settled down, and I felt okay, I'm okay now. Then this falling happened, and when I went to the workplace to because I didn't have anybody to come and pick me and take me to the hospital, right? So I told them, call the ambulance. So the workplace, they said, call the family member. That was the first time I cried. For me,
Mhm.
that was more painful than anything else, because when she said call the family member, I was like, who am I going to call in this world at this moment, right? So
Mm.
I started to cry, and at that time I remembered it happened on a Sunday. Friday, met a lady, Italian lady in the church, and she said, "You're not my friend, you're my sister."
Oh.
And that rang in my, and I just called her and said, you know, and she came like 7 o'clock. It happened 7:20. She was there,
Mm.
and by 8 o'clock, we were at the hospital. So again, it was hard, but again, the divine, kind of thing.
Mm.
And that day was a black ice, and so many things happened.
Wow.
So when we went to the hospital, he did manually, and everything. And for me, as a medical doctor, I saw it was not done properly.
Oh dear.
So I said, can you just send it to an orthopedic surgeon and get a second opinion before I go home? Because he was like, everything was, done, go home, So when I told that, my friend said, she's a medical doctor, then the doctor's face changed. And they called, and first they said 4 o'clock there is a possibility to do a surgery. But when they called and made this, there is a medical doctor with the, like that, right away they took me to the surgical theater and
Thank
they
you.
did the
Thank goodness
surgery.
you were a medical doctor because and someone said
Obvious.
something because otherwise what, you would have been left with a crappy wrist for the rest of your life. How disgusting. Mm.
So then they did the surgery, and the doctor told me, even if I could have been little bit late, that bone was pressing the median nerve, so I could
Mm.
have lost the. So that was kind of a surprise for me. Even
Not
if
a
it
good
was
one.
4 o'clock, if I could have gone for the surgery, also I could have still lost the hand. So
Wow.
that made me like, that again, right? The color and everything, right? It's like
Mm.
the purity. That's where I really understood, right? When
Mm.
we have this color of skin, it's
Yeah.
so easy to be dismissed and sent home, and we don't ask questions, we don't, So that was a big kind of a thing. So then the doctor became, because when he knew that I'm a medical doctor, he became very good with me, and he said, you don't have to buy the surgeon medicine. You go to the pharmacy, and the CSST will cover, the workplace will provide them. So he filled all the forms and everything. Even I didn't know anything about at that time,
Yeah.
because the law I was not sure at all. So
Mm.
he gave all the papers and everything, and even like the same day I was able to go home. That's right. So I was scared to go back home because I was alone. By even though I'm staying with somebody, I have to. So I again said, "Can you just allow me to stay one night? I leave." So I think within 24 hours, if I leave, then again there is something, the insurance and policy and all. So he said, okay, before 8:30, you have to leave this place. If you promise, I will allow you to stay tonight. Then I said, of course. So I left. So I called another lady from the church, and I told her, can you please come and pick me for tomorrow, before 8:30, that, to take me home. And she said, of course. So she came with her husband actually, and I never met his that husband before. And I told, can you take me to the, before dropping me at home, take me to the pharmacy, I'll get the medicine and then I'll go home. So when I went to the pharmacy, they said you have to bring a letter from the workplace. So I told them and I said, like, drop me. So I went to the workplace and they said, you, because I was not a permanent, I was on call. So she said, sorry, we can't help you because you were on call. So we can't do anything for you. So I came back to the car and I told them the workplace can't give me, can't help me. Then this man, I didn't know he was working with the government, something, municipal, something like that. So he came, he said, okay, come with me. And he came in and said to her, the one who is in charge there, he said, okay, we'll see you at the courts. That's she right away, sit. So, he do everything, and he's a white man, right? So again, I was so lucky that I called this white woman, right? If I could have called somebody else, and also a white man showed up. So when he came in, so instead he said, okay, when he asked the question, so like, when was the last time you put the salt? Blah, blah. I didn't even know there is something called. So, and he said, okay, it's your fault, blah, blah, everything clearly. You don't have to do anything. We'll go to the courts and get everything. She right away called CSST and did everything, all the paper done. And, and I still couldn't believe how, and I didn't have a clue about the system,
Yeah, of
my
course.
privilege,
How
right?
could you? Yeah, you can't know.
So again, the workplace also, when we are new, when we don't know, right, how they are abusing the workers because of that. And this single man was able to change everything. And,
Mm.
that's why I'm like, white man has that power. But I
Well, and
never
someone who
knew.
knows as well, because I'm thinking
Yeah.
even if it was myself, I might have an idea that because it's a workplace accident that they would be responsible, but if they told me that they weren't, I might have believed them. Just because I'm ignorant of the
Um,
information that how things work, right? Because I've never had an accident like that, but I would have probably asked around, and tried to figure out whether they were responsible or not. Yeah. And you wouldn't have known because it's not, your home country, so and you haven't been here that long, so you're not aware of all the little ins and outs of those kinds of things and the protections that workers have. So,
yeah.
yeah. So,
So it
wow,
was
fabulous.
so. So the help I received also amazing because
Yeah.
even with that I went to legal aid and got the divorce. I went to French school. So this whole thing changed into very positively because legal aid has to support me because I was on CSST and so they
Yeah.
right away did the work on that. Then French class I was, because I was not going to work, so I went to and learned the French at the same time, right? So everything in a way worked out very perfectly. It was like a perfect puzzle. It helped me. But again, like those challenges, right? Have to go through it to be there. So I think in a way it was positive learning, but still it is like a eye opening, what can happen, right? The
Yeah.
negative side of it have to be remembered and also educated, and this has to be a story for others to be,
Yeah.
new immigrants and colored people to be, because I have heard so many stories about the hospital, right? The privilege, or they don't get the, they are dismissed. And after
Yeah.
me going through it, I kind of understood, yeah, it can
Yeah.
happen to anybody, but it is more for colored person.
Absolutely.